Hello you guys, welcome to a Berlin vlog. This vlog is going to be a slightly different one from the others because of my inception from the future self and commenting certain sections. So bear with me, alright? Hopefully third attempt is a charm. I tried 2 times to film, somehow it did not really work. We are currently in the train, you can see it's still dark. We have little luggage here, that means we are already on our way. Family is here, everyone still looks super tired. And obviously my puffy eyes say the same. Now we have to only hope that the train is gonna start on time and that we safely land on our destination. And what I forgot in these repetitions is that we are heading to Berlin after a very long time to celebrate the birthday of my best friend. What you do not know is that it was supposed to be a friends reunion as well, where a dear friend of ours who lives in the southern part of Germany was planning to travel to Berlin together with her little daughter who is same age as Leiah and who I have not met so far. But her train got cancelled on the very last second and it left 2 parties out of our trio to pull through and spend this short weekend together anyway. Hotel was booked, train tickets were booked, and I was anyway already on the mindset of being super excited to see my friend and spend some time with her. We just came to our cabin, it's like small area with a little table and some toys in the back, especially dedicated for parents who travel with a kid. And lucky for us, apparently the rest of the seats are booked only after Berlin, which means we are on our own, so we can enjoy the ride. I dragged Falco on this trip because, to be frank, I still don't feel confident to be on the long trips alone with Leiah. After discussing costs versus the comfort of being in a peaceful environment, we decided to go with the train option. You guys, I don't even remember last time we drove with train. It's because Falco has this free petrol, and I know I probably will get a lot of bashing from people who care about the environment when they hear me saying that we almost drive everywhere. I feel like that I need to give you a little context here. Yes, the urban planning in European cities is mostly so that you can take public transportation to everywhere and still be in the close proximity to different type of amenities. But the life with the children, more specifically, life with a demanding baby and later on with a young toddler can ramp up the imagination of how things can go. Between timing her naps, timely meals, and our works, we often need a lifting and dropping off at different locations so that it feels like that we are driving to almost everywhere. I think it's in human nature to know that it costs you nothing. You would always choose and opt for that. One positive thing to say on the side of the train is that it only takes up to 2 hours to get to Berlin. Whether it's with car, it might take 4.5 hours. This is not the whole thing. The fact that you need to be cloning around and provide the uninterrupted entertainment while sitting in the back seat to your toddler who seems like being in the prison rather than comfortably being strapped into her seat is a major reason for me to make any expenses that goes in favor of a train ride over the car. But you guys, I'm very, very excited because my friend is pregnant. She is gonna be mom for the 2nd time soon, and I really, really wanted to meet up with her before that happens. And this was truly very important for me. I know how overwhelming the first month is after giving birth can be, and now especially with toddler beside, it can be quite of a challenge. And to be frank, after becoming a mom, I realize how the focus of mine has shifted from baby versus moms and how they are feeling. Obviously, I want to get to know the new baby, but I know that she'll be nurtured, loved, and cared. But for now, who I care about is my friend, and what a better time other than her birthday to visit her. While traveling with the train, I realized how comfortable and how perfect everything can go if train arrives on time and leaves on time. Especially in the small wagon with the toddler, you have this dedicated play area, small table. She can move freely. You can sit and relax, get yourself prepared like me, and eat, chat, and relax. It's just perfect, and it's worth every cent paid. And I'm really glad that I got to document it. In not even 2 hours' time, without any fuss or delay, and with Leiah being on the perfect mood, we arrived on our destination. We arrived in Berlin. I hope the microphone is working. I tried to tuck it as close as possible to my mouth. And it was such a great idea to take out our big stroller for this trip, not only because of the space for storage underneath, but also because of the foot mat that comfortably set Leiah inside, especially that we realized it was a snow day in Berlin as well. Our tram is coming in 2 minutes, and I want to just say how proud I am of Leiah. She did such a great job. She really had lots of fun in the cabin. We painted, we ate, we made little walk. She also got a little toy for her very first ICE drive, so it all turned out great so far. Berlin with the snow looked different than anything that I've seen. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I'm not really big fond of Berlin. At least the areas that I've visited at different times throughout the past few years felt too big, too crowded, too dirty for me. But especially the area where my friends live, without giving too much of a detail, is one of my favorites in Berlin. It's child-friendly, it's vibrant, it's diverse, it's very socially loaded. There are tons of cafes, there are shops, there's basically everything, everyone. And now with the snow, it felt even more dreamy. I of course had to ask Falco to film our meetup, and directly we went off for a walk. I was so surprised how quickly Leiah opened up to a kid she has never met before. They walked hand in hand, which literally melted my heart. You guys, we are on the market and it's snowing. We could not have wished for a better weather in winter. It could have been raining, it could have been dark. Instead, it's beautiful, I would say. So shopping for some yummy lunch, and then we're gonna head home to eat together. As the lunchtime came closer, Leiah felt more and more anxious as she was exhausted from an early morning. So I obviously concentrated on her and took a break from filming. You guys, it's the nap time in the house. That's why it's so quiet. I finally managed to put down Leiah asleep, and I think my best friend also currently in the room with her son. But yeah, I'm so happy that we're here and that everything has worked so nicely so far. We were on the market. It was freezing cold. For us grown-ups, it was more or less okay, but I felt like that Leiah was not dressed appropriately because we forgot her thermo trousers in the bag, which we left in the car. Anyhow, to keep it short, she did not want to sit all the time in the stroller, which is okay and understandable as well. But at some point her lips started to turn blue, and obviously because of the early morning that we have had for, like today to take the train, etc., she was also like on the edge, overtired. So we got some fresh raviolis and delicious gnocchi, and we came back, chatted a bit, kids played, and now it's almost 2 p.m. and as told, everyone is asleep. Maria, who I'm visiting here, is my best friend here in Germany. She's been my closest friend ever since I studied in the university, and she's been always always there. She was part of my wedding. She was part of my wedding preparation. She did my makeup even. Back then, like I did not work, so didn't even have a lot of funds for going to proper salon. Anyway, she did a really great job. Later on in life as well, we've had trips together, friends trips together, like with her husband and other friends of ours. So we went together to Rome, to Barcelona, to Paris. So she's part of my German life and the identity that I've been building here, but most importantly of my motherhood journey. I remember it super clearly that she visited me when I was highly pregnant and then still very delusional about what this journey had to hold for me. She already was mom of 1.5-year-old, and I remember that the sentence that she told me really stood out and made me wonder back then. She told she was so excited for all the good things and bad things that there were to come. And even though you are aware of the difficulties and hurdles, you still have this inner eye closed for the things that it could mean. I remember that it really stayed and stuck with me. I remember that I thought a lot about it because, she was such an important part of my life here in Germany. Her words really meant a lot for me. And I remember that I thought a lot about it. What does she mean? Is it really bad? And then afterwards as well, ever since I gave birth, I could not really name anyone else in my surrounding who has been there as much as she was, because I'm also mom and I also try to devote my time to those other moms in my surrounding and to be there and to pay back the good deeds she has done for me, and that I realized how important it is, especially in this vicious first year. And again, if you don't feel related to this, please don't feel attacked. There are people who fall in love with their babies the first second they lay eye on them or when they feel them in their tummy. But there are equally moms there who really find it challenging, especially in the time frame where kids don't really, give proper feedback, where they need so much of your serving, if one can call it that, and give almost nothing back in terms of feedback, or there is no two-way communication, if you know what I mean. I remember that she was the one who was listening to my very long outbursts of anger, disappointment, self-questioning, every tiny bit detail I've discussed with her. And when I had troubles with her napping, with her breastfeeding, she would ask around, she would send me all the tips, she would be there to hear me out, and most importantly gave all the tools. And I'm just forever and eternally grateful, and I'm just retelling this to once again highlight or to remind you to be very, very appreciative of such people in your life, to hold on to them, because there are not very many in our lives. It's truly so. Everything is nothing if you don't feel morally and emotionally supported, and that goes beyond your family or your spouse. And having friends who dedicate the most precious thing that we have in life, their time to stand by you, is something to be eternally grateful for. So yeah, as everyone else is napping, I think I'm gonna join Leiah and hope that she gets a good midday nap, because weather is beautiful outside, and we will obviously head out and enjoy our day in Berlin furthermore. And this is what we did. After the kids woke up and we gave them their post-nap snacks, we slowly started to get ready and went out for a walk. Mash, how happy to be with you. This is a small insert, by the way, for our friend who could not make it, unfortunately, today with us. Yeah. Well, who could we blame except Deutsche Bahn, which somehow managed to ruin our plans of girly reunion. We are out now. It's an evening hour, as you can see. We are heading to a cafe where apparently there is some corner for kids to play around, so let's hope it works. But I think I might need to go back and help Falco, otherwise he's gonna be pissed. Even if it was freezing, we stayed quite some time in the outside area of the cafe because kids seemed to be truly enjoying it. There were tons of little bobby cars, bicycles that they could push around, and whilst at it we could stand and chat. The inside area of the cafe looked very interesting as well. They had small nooks for play areas, they had even sandboxes, whilst the grown-ups could sit, get warm drinks. And we would have loved to enter, but it was not in the books for us that day. It was getting pretty late and we needed to head back to get some meals and start preparing for the evening routines. And then, after a very lengthy and chatty evening and a good meal, we headed back to our hotel, which was relatively close to where my friend lived. We needed to get back because Leiah was long overdue with her sleep time. The room was very simple, but quite spacious for one night stay, with double bed, 2 seats, and a lovely bathroom. By the way, that's a determinant for me if a hotel is a good one or not. It doesn't have to be too pompous or anything like that, but modern, clean, that really, really matters for me. So you guys, we checked into the Holiday Inn. It's pretty late for Leiah, and we need to get her bed ready as soon as possible because we have an early morning again back home. I'm exhausted, but happily exhausted. To be frank, it's one of the best times that I've had in Berlin. So I was telling them when leaving today that I hope I might not need to cry, because every time I'm having good time, I feel like little kid, because I find myself being very, very sad to say the goodbye. Yeah, that's that. What should I say? By the way, this makeup pouch, or something that she got me, and it's one thing more that reminds me of her on this trip. To be honest, we had a pretty rough night that night. We don't know exactly why, but we think that Leiah was too overtired and maybe overwhelmed as well with the new impressions that she got throughout the day. Also, maybe a little less space between us than usual could have been a reason as well. So we tried to sleep in as long as we could, so we stretched the time that we had a little less time in the morning than initially planned, because we wanted Leiah to be rested as much as possible so that we could have had a peaceful journey back. Train ride back went equally perfect. This time we shared this little wagon together with a 5-year-old boy who was very cute, and his super stylish mom that was just a pleasure to look at. And as soon as we got in Hamburg, she straight passed away in the stroller before even eating her lunch. So you guys, our little day trip to Berlin has come to an end. We are back in Hamburg, and Leiah is napping, which is a great thing because we need to get her into her routine for daycare, where they have naps earlier in a day. So even that worked fantastic. There is positive side to every negative event, which in our case was a very rough night in the hotel. I'm not exactly sure if it was because of the bedding, but Leiah woke up at least 5 times, crying herself in sleep. But what I know is that she had tons of fun, and seeing her that happy made me very happy as well. And it's been a while, once again, that I had an opportunity to sit at the table and chat with my friends and relax while she was entertained. Anyhow, it was a success. I thank you dearly for your time, for joining me on this vlog and sharing my little experience that I'm filming here for you as well. I hope you're having a great weekend yourself. If you watched this video up until now, you know what to do. I would be very grateful if you would click that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because that informs you on the further uploads. I'll say bye here, and I'm gonna see you on my next one. Don't know about you, but I definitely had fun being in Berlin, first of all, vlogging it, editing, and commenting it myself. So, what can I say? Looking forward to the next one.